Okay, everybody. So this is Dr. Shannon, and it's such a cool thing with Dr. Shannon because we both were at AHVMA. Let's see if I can get in a position where my eyes are not. Oh, there we go. Okay. We were both at the conference this year, the AHVMA conference, which was really, really good. And there was like hundreds of holistic vets there. And we were just happened to be on the plane next to each other. What a coincidence. And I thought, hey, do you want to be on my podcast? So here we are. So that was great. So Dr. Shannon, do you want to, I kind of thought a couple things. One is like we have lots of time. So like why you became a vet, when you knew you were going to become a vet, when you knew you were going to become a holistic vet, which is different, right? A little bit.
Right.
And how you incorporate holistic medicine into your practice with working, because I think you work with other vets there too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a group of 3 or 4 of us, depending on the day.
Yeah, and that's really, really cool. Dr. Shannon's located in Texas, so that's also really cool to find out, like, if there's any local ways that you use integrative medicine with some of the things that you see there that we might not see up here. So I know I just threw out like 5 questions at once. Anyway, just see how you go. But yeah, we can always go back and forth quite a bit. So
Okay, yeah. I mean, my path was pretty traditional. The girl that loved horses and couldn't have horses, and so wanted to be around horses. So let's be a vet because I left all the time for my horses. No. So yeah, I was probably 12 because I think my grandfather, my dad's dad said girls shouldn't be vets, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I have to be a vet then.
whoa,
So,
prove him wrong.
yeah, I went to Kansas State, graduated in 94. Oh, it's been a
Oh,
long,
that's when I
goes by fast.
graduated.
Did you? Would you go
Yeah.
to Colorado
No,
or
I went to
Washington?
Yeah, Washington. Yeah.
Washington. Yeah, I keep thinking you're Colorado. You're Washington. Um, yeah, and then I was mixed animal for about 10 years, and I was equine for about 10 years. And then at the end of that equine, I was mostly doing embryo transfer, reproduction. So
Wow.
I was a little burnt out of that, and I had just started my acupuncture certification at Chi, so that would have been in 2015. And then fortunately got a job up in the Olympic Peninsula, and
Like
it
us.
wasn't with a holistic clinic. It was very regular, kind of emergency style, small animal. But while I was up there, I met an integrative vet over in Poolsbo, and that's got me really more dialed
And
in.
was that
And
Chris? Who was
so
that?
that was Shelby Watson.
Right, right,
Yeah, it used to be
right.
Big Valley, and now I think she's called, gosh, I know she's just changed her name to for the practice recently. Balanced Pet Northwest or something like that.
Okay, okay, that's good to
And
know.
she was great. She's a wealth of knowledge. She's a real healer. So it was very inspiring. Like, oh, you can do what?
Yeah.
So that just opened up a bigger field. I'd already had my food certification at that point, but then went on and did rehab because I was up there for a few years and then got a call from a friend that a vet in near Dallas was looking for just integrative, no Westerns traditional for her rehab practice. So I worked down there for a few years, just doing acupuncture, food therapy, herbs, and then the rehab. Her focus is primarily the rehab, the sports medicine. And that's where I'm at now, only at a different practice that she bought. So she has 2. I'm on the other side of Dallas. She's on one side of Dallas.
That's so cool. So a
So,
lot of people don't know about food therapy. Sort of like when you say food therapy, what the heck does that mean? Maybe you could kind of give people a little small snippet of it, or maybe like how you would use it in practice.
yeah. So my training was in the Chinese traditional veterinary medicine using food energy. So how some foods can create heat and some foods can create coolness or pull heat or pull coolness or pull dampness, like hot itchy ears or hot skin. You can target into different foods for that purpose. And you can get down rabbit holes with it. And it was can get pretty complicated on the recipes. So from what I went from learning, I've morphed into something more practical, which is not necessarily an ancestral diet, because then I think some pets are missing some things in just that. But it's sort of in the middle where I just try to create basically an anti-inflammatory diet for all of this walking inflammatory bodies that I see. So simple
Amazing.
ingredients, fermented foods, quality proteins. Maybe we'll use a grain if they need it, but and then balancing it with a vitamin mineral supplement. I'm not. I have access to sites. I send people a lot to the Texas A&M at their vet school has a nutritional consultation for clients that they can just click on and do all the things. There's always Balance It, and then there's a few others, dog or dietformulator.com and Dog Child Co. Have you heard of that one?
No, and I haven't heard of the
Yeah.
Texas A&M one too. So
Yeah.
how do you decide where to, and what's the approximate cost on like the Texas A&M versus the other
Yeah, I
one?
think the A&M consultation's a few $100s to just
Okay.
start with the process. The others are just, I believe, a one-time fee. I don't think it's that much. It's really the budget of the client, or if they want to do, I have a few clients that want to do 100% cooking, all the things. Others kind of like this 50-50, where we find something that's commercially balanced, that's very low in the inflammation, and then maybe top it with some homemade things. So we use, that's probably my biggest portion of my clients. I have quite a few clients that are just feeding raw, but not, I love raw, but it's not for every dog or cat. So it just
Yeah,
depends on.
maybe you could talk to us a little bit about that. So like on your homemade stuff, how do you like say you have when we could give an example, right? Maybe we have an itchy lab, like a that comes in and the people are like, yep, I want to do 100% homemade and
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
and
So first I tell them, say they have a 90-pound lab, if they want to do 100% homemade, they need to feed a volume of food that's pretty large, like 2 to 3% of the body weight to maintain that weight, unless the pet's overweight. And of course, we'd come down off of that. So once they see that number, like a pound and a half to 2 pounds of food a day, they're just kind of deer in the headlights. So then we'll start to back up and maybe peel away some of the layers of what is going on. Let's just say, yeah, bad skin or bad ears, and they've come in hot on kibble. So of course we're going to get them off kibble, but it's a slow process. I try not to do anything cold turkey, like the very next day we're on raw. So we have to rebuild their immune system, support their digestive system, and we go step things back with probably some quality probiotics, start introducing real food on us as a topper to what they're currently feeding, and then transition off to either more of a homemade diet or a commercially balanced homemade diet. So
and so probiotics wise, what do you like? I mean, it's such a can of worms, but
yeah,
yeah.
there's tons. Again, another rabbit hole. The most popular one in our traditional practice is, of course, the Fortiflora and the ProViable. But I feel like those strains focus primarily on digestion and not necessarily immune support. So I think Dr. Becker had an old blend with Dr. Mercola. It was the Bark, and now it's called Bark and Whiskers Complete Probiotic. Have you heard of that one?
No.
Yeah, there's one without enzymes and one with. I tend to start without the enzymes unless people are giving me feedback that their dog is burping or grumbling a lot. And then I believe Dr. Becker has a new one out, her Proactive Paws Primitive Probiotics, all the P's. As many P's as she could put in a title, that's what it is.
Oh my gosh.
Proactive Paws, Primitive
These
Probiotics.
names, and then we're supposed to memorize them all.
I know. I know. I'm just like, could you put any more P's in there, Dr. Becker? Mostly because I believe it was some studies, or not studies, but necessarily it was a lecture that Dr. Marsden did about having more variation of the strains, but at a higher concentration. So like your Fortiflora has just a couple strains and it's at 2 billion. ProViables, just a few more strains and it's at 10 billion. And then your Bark and Whiskers is 12 strains and it's 30 billion. So the more colony forming units you can get, obviously is going to get a little more support. Sometimes it's too much, so you have to just slowly work up to a point where you feel like you're seeing that shift.
That's awesome. I haven't used those other probiotics. I'm so afraid of probiotics because like the Fortiflora is chicken based. Like
Yeah.
I do more of the muscle testing kind of Nate approach to
Nice.
allergies, and so the ProViable I think is dairy based. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but the Fortiflora is definitely chicken based, and so I'm not sure what these other ones are. So the problem is like sometimes what the bacteria is grown on becomes part of the dog's allergy
Right.
problem. And so
Yeah,
I sometimes,
I think the Bark and Whiskers is a beef isolate. I'm not sure though. I'd have to go back
okay.
and look that
Yeah,
up. But
sometimes that
yeah,
can,
so there's all the testing you can do. I have some people that want to know all the data before they start the diet, and others want to just dive into the food and then test later if things don't resolve.
and then how do you do the testing?
Yeah, initially I used to just use Dr. Dodd's NutriScan back in the
Okay.
day,
Yeah.
for food sensitivities, and then it morphed into. But there's always the traditional IDEX food and allergy panels and
Yeah,
then
I just didn't
pursue
know how you thought they
immunotherapy.
were, if you thought they were accurate.
Yeah, when I talk to the dermatologists down here, they say it can give a pet about 2 years of comfort, and then in Texas, it's all going to switch. So it's
Mm.
a terrible place to be a dog. Maybe.
Mm. Is it because
Um,
environmental allergies down there, or
yes, yeah, the
yeah, we have
cedars, the
those too.
grasses are so bad down
Yeah.
here. So I use a lot of the VDI labs testing. Do you use them?
I have, oh, you know what? I've tried to call them. Is that the hair, like where you can
They
send?
have a hair mineral analysis,
Yeah, the one that
and
Ava Freck uses.
yeah, so it's a little different than her. She, I think, was kind of the OG doing that hair and mineral testing, and then
Okay.
VDI's come out with a lot more tests. They had a bunch of it at the conference.
No, but
Um,
I might ask you for those links because I've had trouble getting a hold of them or something. So anyway.
yeah, I really, at the conference, they were, yes, sound like it's magical support, but it has been a little hard to get a hold. You can't necessarily talk to someone. You have to email them, then you have to wait for the email. They're pretty fast about getting the email back,
Okay.
but they don't really have the staff, I guess, or the availability of someone to talk to right
Yeah, it seems
away.
like it's just a few people or something, which is
Hmm.
fine. But yeah, I do feel
Yeah,
like if they want to do the whole country of vets, it's going to be.
they're going to need
And
some
I
other
think they
support.
do. I think like a lot of. I think I have a client that does analysis with them. So they might not only work with vets. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just started using the hair and mineral testing for a client that's her pet's undergoing chemotherapy and radiation for her pulmonary adenocarcinoma. So I
Mm.
did a consultation with Dr. Kendra Pope's staff, Dr.
Oh
Martin
yeah.
or Marin, and they recommended the tissue mineral analysis prior to getting too far down the road with the
Yeah.
chemo so they can.
And yeah, you might be. Just so that you know, you might be. Can you still hear me? Okay.
Yes.
We were freezing up a little bit. Can
Oh,
you?
sorry.
No, no, it's not your fault. It's because I live in the boondocks, so sometimes it'll freeze up and it'll come back though. So, um, well, that's really a cool way of approaching it. So, yeah, on back to that lab. If they did still want to stick with it, I do have people who do. It sounds like you do things very similarly as I do, but
Do you do a lot of the microbiome testing and
I do different types of sauerkraut. As far as I'm trying to always find like a food-based probiotic that's not grown on anything
sure.
meat-wise
Yeah.
or protein-wise. But
Yeah.
I mean, at first, mostly everything will work. It usually takes about 4 weeks, I've found, where the dog will start reacting to the new thing, whatever it is
Mhm.
that I've introduced that maybe is an allergen. So we usually get a little bit of initial relief and we have to figure it out from there. Yeah. So on that 90-pound lab, might you give us an example of like what you would think is like a cooling anti-inflammatory diet, just roughly? If
Yeah, again, I keep it pretty simple. Because I used to do all those long recipes that Dr. Shea would, his staff recommended through the food program there at Chi, but I would just get that glazed look from clients and
yeah.
maybe one or two that would be all in. And a lot of them like the crock pot approach, like Dr. Roberts, the crock pot diet.
I don't
And
know that one. Maybe
oh
give
yeah,
us a link to that.
she has the crock pot diet website. I think she's
Okay.
retired and lives in Mexico, but she does a lot of stuff online.
Oh,
So, but
yeah. I mean,
um
yeah, all the different diet sites would be great to give people links.
yeah, again, it's just really involved. I just really simple. I just choose a protein. I kind of do a 60-40-30 or 40-20 approach. 60-40, wait,
Let's see.
60-30
60.
and 20. Sorry,
Okay.
I can't do the math in my
No,
head.
that's okay.
Usually do about a 50-60% protein
Yep.
and a 30 to 20 to 30% high fiber veggie, and then the remainder of that is the potentially a starch if they need it. So I have a lot of overweight pets, so I'm usually not adding a starch unless they're particularly, let's say, cold. Like an older pet, I'll use maybe some cooked quinoa or some cooked sweet potatoes. But my high fibers are always, veggies are always broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, green beans, and asparagus.
Okay.
Those are
And
my
do you have those,
go-to.
are those all cooked then or?
Yeah, everything cooked. Again, I've had some people that really just want to do raw, and I try if they're young, and they have all the support on their digestive side, their immune side will go into that. But a lot of older pets or pets with issues, it just takes so much energy to metabolize and digest those raw foods. So it's a lot easier to have them cooked. So,
Hmm.
and then,
And
yeah, the proteins will be turkey or a very low fat beef, things you want to be cool or neutral. And if it's an older pet without a lot of, I feel like skin issues, they can handle some chicken or some lamb if they need to warm up. But I tend to not use very much chicken and lamb because it's so hot down here.
yeah, okay, that's all really good. And are there any like starches that you don't want to use with an older animal, and any that you don't want to use with a younger animal, usually, or is
Um,
there no?
Again, it depends if I need a pet to gain weight, and if their digestive system is pretty sturdy, they could probably tolerate a longer course of maybe some rice if it's cooked right. So I always tell people I have to rinse it and steam it and then rinse it and then put it in the fridge and then start feeding it, just like we're supposed to do for that resistant starch. But I don't use the whole chicken and rice go-to for diarrhea that I think's been because I think people didn't stay on it too long because it can help, but then they stay on it, and then I just see inflammation coming back, months later. But I like the cooked quinoa and I like the sweet potatoes. It's easy and it's got a little bit of fiber. Most of the dogs like it. I think, it's just volume if people are ready to cook.
Yeah, I know. Because I mean, if you're thinking about 2 pounds of food, you're thinking about, is it like 6 cups or volume wise, eight
Yeah, if
cups?
it's a mix, I have people usually for the veggies just go get some frozen veggies.
Okay.
They're harvested at the highest nutrient point and then frozen. So I feel like safer choice nutritionally and preparation wise than a
Yeah,
can
sure.
of green beans and then sometimes things aren't in season, so it may not be easy to go find some good quality green beans.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
what vitamin mix did you say you used? Just curious.
So the Bark and Whiskers, I like
Okay.
that one. She has the other one out. Oh no, not the Bark and Whiskers. I'm sorry. The vitamin mineral mix I use is typically either, well, Dr. Roberts has one. It's called Pet uh, Pet Support. Holistic Pet Support. It's on her website.
Holistic pet support.
And then Seaweed Calcium is a company that makes just a powder that mixes in with your prepared food. And then I know Dr. Silver has his RX Minerals. A lot of clients like that one.
The RX vitamin, he kind of now he works for Real Mushrooms, so
Oh yeah, it's his
and they
old
got bought out.
recipe. Sorry, I always
I
think of
know,
it as him.
I know, I know. It's hard to adapt. It takes me at
I'm
least
old.
five
I can't
years.
remember what he's
Yeah,
done. He does too many things.
it's true. He has
So
done a lot.
the RX Minerals is a nice balancer for
That's been
people.
good for you. Yeah, well, good. Yeah, I like to look at, well, we have one that we make for clients, and then
Oh,
yeah, it's just seeds and spirulina
uh-huh.
and stuff like that. But I have
Is it on your website?
it's in my course, and
Oh,
so
okay.
I know
So
it's
clients can just go in and sign up for your course and then
they
they can have
can.
access to it.
They can, but yeah, and my course isn't very expensive. It's like 175. But
Uh-huh.
it's not, it doesn't have vitamin E. It has enough vitamin E. It doesn't have enough vitamin A, and it doesn't have enough calcium. So we have people kind of add human grade vitamins to the
Okay. So do you use a senior multivitamin? Like that used to be back in the day, they would say a
like
Citrum
thorn.
Senior Silver once a week or something for
Yeah,
small dogs.
no, oh no, I don't use like a complex. I go by vitamin.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so like I'll just get an A and D mix, and then I'll have them, and then I'll titrate it down. So if it's 10,000 IU's for a human per day for extra vitamin A, then I'll just go by based on the weight. So a lot of
Okay.
dogs are like half that amount, or I'll do that every other day. And then the calcium is a big one. I just have to make sure that's really balanced. Um,
Yeah. Are you using the
usually
powder, the
not.
calcium
Yeah, I just
powder?
use citrate. Yeah, now makes a powder, and I just have
Yeah.
them buy it online. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah. And that's kind of goes back to how I learned how to do it in with chi, you know,
okay,
with the
and it
recipes
is a
having
lot of different
calcium and
things.
separate. And I just
Sure.
had so many people that were, well, so many things. You
I
gotta
know. And I'm like,
simplify
well,
it.
too bad.
But no,
I
I
don't
like
look
that
them
approach. I
wide
think
too
you're
much.
more exact with that. Do you have them test for vitamin D levels when
I
you're supplementing?
haven't. I haven't. I just make sure that it's there and available. And then a lot of times I'm using liver, like I'm using raw liver as a
Uh-huh. Your
adjunct,
organ.
which
Yeah.
is so no, I haven't really done a lot of testing. I guess I never really 100% trust the testing. I muscle test, but that's as far as the testing that I have done. But I also haven't been in practice now for like a year. So as I'm thinking about getting back into practice, I'm like, okay, I should probably, I'll probably
Yeah,
end up
I mean, some people like the data. I know it's
yeah.
well, I use the VDI labs for the vitamin D
Okay.
because we have a lot of cancer patients that are on it. So we'll check that level quite a bit.
Yeah. Does the
And
vitamin D go down with certain types of?
sometimes I have a lot of pets coming in off kibble that are low. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
once they're on homemade, even if they're some of them aren't maybe consistently using a vitamin mineral supplement, their D levels are staying pretty normal. So
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I think it takes a while for it to titrate or
yeah,
change, which is
yeah.
kind of interesting too.
Yeah, after a dose adjustment, I think the lab even says not to check it sooner than 3 months
Oh, yeah.
after a dose change.
Are you doing blood to test vitamin D?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll probably end up doing that. That's so cool that you do all that though. So how does it work? So if people want to do, so how do they find you? Do they just find you through the other vet or is it kind of word of
Yeah,
mouth?
the clinic name is should all be the same. It's the same clinic domain name because it used to have two different names. So now it's all the same integrated veterinary wellness. But it'll take you to either Richardson or Louisville, and I'm in the Louisville
Okay. So where
practice.
you're located.
So yeah, and it's like I said, there's two other traditional vets, and then my employer, Dr. Smallwood, comes on every Friday because she does this the rehab and she's chiropractic certified where I don't.
Okay. Wow. So
I did.
she's
She's done it all. She's got her master's at the TCVM at Chi, yeah,
wow.
and the chiropractic and
That's
gosh, what else
amazing.
could
Are
there
you
be?
guys like swamped with business?
She's incredibly busy because it's amazing how popular the chiropractic work is. You
It's
know,
pretty nice to see those instant results.
yeah, that's got her probably just super busy. And she lives in a little more condensed clientele area
Yeah.
versus over in Louisville, where it's still kind of, have you heard of acupuncture? Still a
Right,
little
right. I know.
new, so we're not quite as busy, but her clients that live over here that have been driving all the way over to Richardson are loving it because they're closer.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
she's just been here for, I think, about 10 years in that area, has her reputation, that
That's
carries it.
that's great. So what are your favorite kinds of cases do you like? I mean, do you like those skin cases? Do you rather have some like I used to
I
like
like
them.
them when they get better.
Right. I know.
I mean, yeah, they are because they're so frustrating for clients and the pets. It's just, and down
It
here it's
is.
just miserable. Miserable. Like
Yeah.
103-degree days, and they can't go outside because they're just a little fireball. So when those
Oh,
things shift, even if it's only a 50% shift, I consider that a success down here. I like that. I like the geriatric portions. I like, I don't like pets that have cancer, but I like being able to support the owners and pets through that. That's been nice.
do you do any primary cancer therapy or are you mostly working with people who are on chemotherapy and radiation, like do other types?
Right. I see the clients who either have decided not to do chemo and radiation, or ones that are on it and want to also supplement it. Because, I think it was Dr. Erin
Panic?
Bannock. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think I read, or she said something in a lecture that her adding herbs to the chemo radiation protocol can increase the longevity of at least 6 months versus just
Yeah.
doing the chemo or just doing the herbs by themselves. So I always
Yeah.
tell people that. So.
That's great. I'm glad I know she's amazing,
Yeah.
powerhouse.
This, like, if I could remember a quarter of what
I
she
know.
knows, I
That's
would feel
okay. That's
pretty
okay.
successful.
I know we don't, the amazing part about this is that a lot of it is by feel and it becomes not that you do have to know things, but it becomes, I feel like, by intuition and feel is becomes just as important as what you know. And that's an interesting concept
Is
that a
that
lot,
with your muscle testing? I think that's very intuitive energy.
But I think it happens with everybody, even if you don't do muscle testing. If the dog comes, you kind of feel, okay, this is a case, you're just like, okay, this herb will work, or maybe I need to use these acupuncture points. And it kind of, I feel like sometimes it's just kind of on feel or but maybe that's experience. I have no idea. I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
and I
think
are
so
about
because well, at least when I first started out, I was like, oh, I was so
like
worried if
so
I did the
much.
wrong point, it was going to send the dog or cat the other way, and it won't, but it
Yeah,
just may not be
super
as
safe.
helpful if you choose a
Yeah.
different point.
I love doing something
So,
that's so safe like that. I mean, have had you had cases where you just do the acupuncture or the herbs and like really within one or two, it's like a different dog altogether, and you're like, whoa, it's so fast. The
yeah,
improvement.
yeah, there, not every time, of course, because some of the pets are coming in with years of problems.
Yeah, if it's a more acute.
Yeah, you'll see a shift, and then it depends, musculoskeletal or maybe it's renal disease, so those are going to respond differently because we have the other modalities, the laser and the shock wave and the
Geez, you
rehab and
guys do it
everything
all.
to
Holy
do that.
smokes. Are you guys doing PRPs too?
Yeah. Yeah. Dr. Smallwood does that in the Richardson Clinic. We haven't quite got
Wow.
it ready over here, but
That's amazing. So yeah, I
yeah.
haven't never really branched out from my little world, but that's awesome. I love what you guys do.
So if you get back into it, are you staying where you're at, or are you going to a different clinic?
No, I just got my California license, so I haven't really kind of
Oh,
made this public yet, but because I'm not 100% sure. I'll know on Sunday. I'm meeting with
oh,
another holistic vet. So I'm basically looking at like sharing a couple clinics down in that Carmel, Santa Cruz type area. I
nice.
just think it's going to work better with my physiology. I'm really having problems with like the rain and dark
The
and
weather.
cold.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's gonna be so much different weather than where
Yeah,
you're
I
at.
think I'm just going to really, and then one of my horses has a darndest time with the moisture here. So I'm like, I mean, I know it's not 100% dry there, but I think it's drier. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, so
Oh,
we'll see how it
that'll be
goes.
fun. And you'll move all together as an entity, your family.
Yeah, I think I might move next month myself and just kind of
Uh-huh.
try it out before I move Jeff, my
Everybody.
husband. Yeah.
And
And
the horses, yeah.
I'm gonna move the horses with me, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm supposed to go to Indonesia in April on a sort of like I guess you want to say not a rescue. Well, it's about the orangutan
Oh,
sanctuary.
nice.
So, yeah, my husband, I don't really want to leave the horses for him to take care of. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna move them so you don't have to take care of them.
Yeah,
I think yeah,
that's
I don't think
exciting.
yeah, so it's a little bit of a change. We'll see how it goes. I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
getting involved with like rehab, like wildlife rehab and things like that. That seems like it would be really fulfilling. So,
Yeah, I think it would respond really well to acupuncture and have you done any muscle testing on exotics?
I mean, I don't think I've done muscle testing on exotics, but I used to work on snakes and lizards and birds and all kinds of animals like that because I worked with Dr. Bennett at the Bird and Exotic Clinic in Seattle. So that was kind of a fun little, that's actually kind of how I started out. So
Oh,
I
wow.
worked on a seizuring snake. Snakes respond great for acupuncture. I don't know
Oh.
if you've seen that too, but
No, I've never seen it, but it makes sense.
they're
Yeah,
really,
basically
they
the
go
whole
into
body's a
this,
muscle.
yeah, they go into this really cool, like, they'll come in with their tongues going and then they'll go into almost like a trance. They go into a trance with
Wow.
acupuncture. It's just, and I've done it on all kinds of different snakes and they just all seem to do the same thing. It's this like cool little trance, almost like,
You're like the snake whisperer.
well, it's just I think it's an ancient endocrine, endorphin system that
Sure.
they have a great adaptation for. So it taps right into the acupuncture. And yeah, I've really enjoyed working with snakes. I know
Nice.
that's kind of funny.
No, and I mean, no, it's because
Thing.
I think it's very it's unique and it's not very easy for clients to find exotic support
Yeah,
that
but
is
just
not traditional,
yeah, yeah,
that lets you think outside the box. Will
yeah.
the places in California be doing some exotics or is it just equine or?
I think it's going to be small animal. I'm
Oh, okay.
sure. Yeah, that there's a lot of equine work to
Hmm.
be done there. There's really not that many holistic vets down there,
Really?
which is shocking. Yeah,
I
as
know. I
in
think
not
California,
there's very
Washington,
few.
Colorado, some
Well, I
eastern
think it
states.
used to be California used to be
Huh.
more, yeah, and then I don't know, I mean, it's not like I feel like the California situation with the licensing, it's always been a little bit of a deterrent for people. They
Yes.
don't want to put up with, do all that.
Yes.
But
Is it still as hard as it used to be? I mean, is
no, I
red
mean,
tape?
there's a lot of red tape, but I mean, I think it's just a little bit more than other states, but they do have this exam. It's open book, but it was pretty hard,
Hmm.
I thought, and stuff. So yeah, so that was but that's if you've had your license somewhere else. So it's just, if you're right out of school, I bet you still have the old difficult exam.
Yeah, that's what deterred me from
Oh, that's
finishing
what
school.
everybody says. Darn, I wish I want all you guys to be there. No, it's not like that anymore if you wanted to
Yeah.
change your mind. Yeah, so like as far as cases go, so what do you do with the horses? Are you working with medical, internal medicine cases? Are you mostly doing kind of give us some examples of some of the horse cases that you're working with?
Actually, Dr. Smallwood only does a few farm calls now for old clients, and I don't see any horses right now at all.
Oh, you're
It's
just
a
so
small
busy with the
animal,
small
but she'll,
animals.
and it's mostly limited to just musculoskeletal. So acupuncture and chiropractic, maybe a little laser or shockwave, but nothing in internal medicine. She doesn't
Do
do any of that.
horses tolerate shockwave?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Amazing.
especially over those big hip muscles and glutes and
Hmm.
over the back. Yeah.
I wonder how that works versus I'll have to look it all up, but
Well,
versus
it's the different, it's the newer shockwaves. It's not the kind of shockwave that you used to have to sedate, the pets for.
oh,
It's the
okay.
like
Yeah.
Piezo, I think, is one of them, and I think Multi-Radiance has one. We use the Piezo or Piezo if
Hmm.
you're Italian.
Interesting. Interesting. So how many cases are you seeing a day? And then how many days a week are you working?
I'm 4 days a week at this clinic, and it's, again, it's still kind of building. It could be anywhere from, I don't know, 10 slow day maybe to 15. I think Dr. Smallwood's about 14 to 18 a day,
That's a
on hers.
lot.
Yeah, because she just,
That's
every 30 minutes and maybe, this, um, the chiropractics are only like 15-minute appointments. It's just being in and out where, a little bit longer for acupuncture and then our new patients are always an hour exam. But
wow.
yeah,
Okay, that is a lot of clients in a day.
yeah, she definitely sees the bulk of it because of her. Well, she's just been around longer and her clients are over there. And once they're in the
Wow.
system, then things can spread out a little bit because they can come to our clinic to do follow-up things.
How do
But
you guys like how do you guys not get burnt out though? That's 18 people a day.
yeah, I don't know how she doesn't get burnout. She's very
How long has she been
dedicated.
doing it?
She's been there 10 years, or 8 to 10 years, and then she was just doing equine racetrack work in Kentucky for
Oh,
12 or 15 years.
oh,
I think,
wow.
yeah.
Okay.
She just has that personality, that energy. Even with two kids, she's just can't sit still.
Wow.
I'm the opposite. I kind
I
of
was going to say
like,
some of that.
yeah.
I want
I
some of
like to
that.
dig and pull and do all the little things and spend more time and just, yeah, we're not wired the same, but
Do you have kids?
no, I never got lucky.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
did you?
No, 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 I didn't, but
No, lots of I used to have a lot of horses when I was doing equine. We had, I don't know, I think at any given time, 8 or 10, it was a lot. Well, because we had babies. So,
oh, your own horses.
yeah, yeah.
You don't have them now.
No, when I moved up to Washington, I was either had friends take them or I had sold some. So
Oh, I didn't really know that. Do you miss having horses in your life?
I do. Yeah, I used to judge a lot of the NATRAC rides, the North American Trail Ride competitions, so like competitive
Oh,
trail rides,
oh,
where they go through obstacles and there's a horsemanship judge and then
that's
there's the
cool. That
veterinary.
is so cool. I love anything I can do with its trail
Yeah, it's
obstacles.
very popular out there. California has a big region, Colorado, of course, and then all through the Midwest. But yeah, so that was fun and going through and doing that. And so I saw everybody else's, how they're in all the different breeds. It's not just, it's a lot of pacing, a lot of gaited horses, a few quarter horses, but not as much, more Arabs and
Hmm.
Arab mixes and sport horses.
Hmm. Do
So
you think that as far as going to horses, what kind of horse back riding is, I say, the hardest on horses, in your opinion, like as far as their joints go? Um,
Oh, well, in my area, it's the reining and the cutting because they're putting horses through their paces as a yearling, and they're
when they're one
competing
year
as
old,
2-year-olds.
their
Yeah,
joints don't
I
grow.
know. I know. My husband was a retired reining trainer and he rode 2-year-olds the last part of his career, and it was just they're not quite two. We're already
Wow.
doing, all the things and the spins and the stops and the
Now, if they waited until those joints were closed and the horses were more, and this happens in the horse racing industry too, they race them really young as well. But if they waited, what do you think would happen? Do you think that they wouldn't be as broken down at say
Oh,
10,
I think
11?
so. Sure, sure. But that's all about well, I'm not saying all, but I think it's heavily weighed on the money
Money.
that can
There's
be
money in
made,
that field. See,
right,
what they
because
have to
they're going
do
to
is,
have
huh,
a longer career if they're starting competing younger, and they get more value based on their success as a younger horse, so that if, say, an injury does occur, say to a mare, then her embryos are going to be much more valuable if she's had the
hmm,
career of success, before she retires at 5, so from an injury.
oh, that's so
So
sad.
it's very, very money driven.
And how
Yeah.
much money would it be, like an expensive cutting horse would be?
Oh, they're 6 figures.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, they need to be
Oh,
like
yeah.
us. We're the opposite. Our money goes into the horse. The horse doesn't ever give the money back to us.
Yeah, I mean, you might get you could get a pretty decent one for 5 figures, but at the
Oh my
sales, things are
God.
easily $6 million
And when you're
at
talking
some
about
some of the
that
sales.
much money, then all
Oh,
kinds of
yeah.
bad stuff can happen.
Well, and yeah, it's just so competitive, like
Is
some of the
it, do you
vets
think
in
that the,
Kentucky or the vets in Texas, you're just kind of a number because if you're not keeping this horse sound and competitive and it's not winning, then they're off to a different vet.
well,
It's just very stressful.
burnout? I'm wondering if the vet industry if vets are saying anything about this. Like if
Oh, no, because if they're in that industry, they want to keep it going because that's their
they're
bread
part
and
of the whole
butter, right?
money. Yeah, see, that's kind
Yeah.
of corrupt. I don't know.
No, I think there's been every now and then a video pops up of a trainer being abusive, but that's about as far, and that's from an outside source, like a
Hmm.
lay person or a horse
It would have
owner.
to be like regulation, government regulation saying
Right. There's
you can't
not a
do
lot of
this
fingers
till
into the regulatory outside of drugs, for FEI, Federation horses,
right.
European. Of course, there's a lot more stringent, drug testing. But as far as methods of training or age limits
Age.
on when to start
Yeah.
or, nerving tails for the reining horses, that still goes on. Yeah,
Oh,
it's crazy. Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
You're taking the ability for the horse to swish its tail to swish flies away, gone out. Because
You
when they're
can't do it
competing,
anymore.
no. And when they're competing, you don't want that tail movement when they're doing the pattern in, say, a
Well, how
reining.
can that's so
That's
sad.
terrible. I know. I know. When I found, I think, it's always behind the scenes, black market kind of work. Nobody says they're doing it, but,
Are vets doing that, or is
yes, I think so. Yes, I know of it.
oh,
Yeah.
that's
But I think also now fewer vets are doing it because they've taught non-vets to do it so that they're not now liable for that procedure.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'd have mares coming in to flush and that you'd have to wrap and move the tail away and tie it off because they
Because they
couldn't move
can't
the tail
move it.
themselves to get to the,
God,
preparation for the flush. Yeah, very sad.
unbelievable.
So it
That's
was very
unbelievable.
disheartening.
Well, that is good to know, just because I should know about it. Yikes.
Yeah, if you're in a sport horse area in California, I
I
don't know that you'll see that. There are some
wouldn't
really
think
big
so.
reining places around there.
Okay.
I can't remember some name in California. My husband again knows all the people that are famous
I
now in
might
it
ask you at
were all
some
little
point.
kids. Were teenagers when he first met them. So,
Interesting. Well, that is all really good information. Thank you. Well,
yeah.
going back to the small animals real quick. So tell us about cats. I would love to hear your take on treating chronic disease in cats. Do you use integrative medicine with, say, with a diabetic cat or even a kidney failure cat? And how does that usually look? Like when someone comes in, are they put on a homemade diet, according to food therapy, or are they just or you kind of go, oh, it's a cat, just let them eat whatever, you know? I
So
don't
it
know.
depends. Yeah, totally depends. Our younger cats are going to be a little more accepting to new foods. Old cats, especially ones that have been on kibble their whole life, are kind of addicted to the crunchy, sugary treat. So they're a little more difficult to change their diet. Some of the simplest methods are just adding some smash fish or as a topper, and maybe they'll need a little probiotic for some digestive support. But renal failure is very common, and our goal is obviously to try to get cats to 20. But when they come in at 13, 14, 15, and they have, they're in stage, say, 2 or 3, you need to get that diet switched. And then we put them on herbs, whether it's herbs to improve blood flow or herbs to reduce inflammation in the kidneys. That seems to work pretty well. They're pretty accepting of the liquid herbs if you mix some water in and make a tea and then add in all the food. But if they won't eat them, just they won't lick them. It's very bitter.
What herbs, I mean, what company are you using for your herbs? And then kind of maybe give us an example of like when would you use an inflammation herb for a cat with kidney disease versus another formula? Like, how do you decide? Or
Yeah, I was taught to look at the urine protein creatinine ratio. And if it's high, and I'm gonna get this wrong because I'm not looking at my form, but if it's over 2, you're gonna suspect inflammation. If it's under 2, maybe you're gonna expect more of an ischemic, low blood flow to the kidneys. So then maybe you'll use a Romania herb to reduce inflammation, or you might use a blood moving formula. It's like a Sanrantong or like a minor bupleurum will help improve the blood flow. I think I have that right. I have
do
a
you
little
ever
chart.
do those together?
I usually don't in my kidney cats, but there's so many formulas that have probably the blends from one or the other in the same blend. Uh, there's that nourishing formula, the APR nourishing formula that's easy on geriatric cats. Because sometimes the cats have more than one issue. Maybe it's not just renal, it's also hyperthyroid, and maybe we're also diabetic.
Yeah,
so,
love it when there's a whole bunch of stuff.
so you can try to find that blend that checks the most boxes. So with cats, I try to stay pretty minimal, maybe 1 or 2 blends, not like dogs. You might get up to 3 or 4 blends.
And then do
Do
you
you
use
use Western or do you use Chinese herbs?
I do a combination of things, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, I try to go Western. But we've had some major sourcing issues with our Western herbs. I
Oh,
mean, like we were even thinking of starting an herbal business. We had a Shopify site set up and
oh,
all
nice.
this, and then it was like we Western herbs decided to sell, and then it ultimately closed. And that was our really, they were just the best herbs. They were all organic, and I didn't have to worry. And I used them 25 years.
Oh, wow.
But then when that happened, I was like, okay, I'm left with mountain rose herbs, which is great, but pretty expensive. And then really, other than them, it's kind of slim pickings in the Western herbal world, which is sad because I do have these formulas I like, but I've never really thought of it in terms of ischemia versus inflammation.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I haven't thought of it, but that's really cool that you have. I'm trying to
Yeah, it
think
just
of
helped me narrow it down because it's overwhelming because you can pick,
Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
thinking
eat.
about Angelica because we use a lot of Angelica in those
Mhm.
cases. So that would be like more of an ischemic,
Mhm.
for to build the blood.
But yeah,
Um,
yeah. And
and
then, with our diabetics, we obviously fall to the classic, sea mouse on the four marbles. We use a lot of that, especially early on if it's a very overweight cat.
right, because it has like
And
damp
for Cushing's,
tissues.
yeah.
Yeah,
In dogs. I don't see Cushing's. Have you seen Cushing's in cats?
I've never seen it in cats, but they have this. I was in the VMX and they talked about acromegaly, and I was like, cool, because it's just something I never heard of, and
No,
it
I don't
was
think I've ever
like
seen it.
something. I mean, you probably know it, but it's like a pituitary imbalance where there's overproduction
I
of
knew it way
growth.
back here. It's somewhere back in this part of my brain.
I never heard of it. Like to me, it was
Yeah.
completely new. One of the causes of diabetes, I'm like, growth hormone causes diabetes. So I don't know. I was just completely like, I don't know what my eyes were like. What's going on? Why is this? Why have I never heard of this?
Right. I know there's so many things.
There's
I
a
feel
lot
like
of things, but
at
I mean,
this time I should know more. And then like
no, because
I've either forgotten a lot or
no, and I mean, like I was talking to Rob about this, and he goes, "Well, how many cases do you think there are?" And I'm like, "I don't know. They talked about it a lot, but he's like, yeah, there's probably like, 1%, like." one in 1,000, you
Yeah,
know?
when you're in academia and you
Yeah.
consumed with that thing, and it's all there.
Yeah.
It's the only case in the world.
Yeah. I mean, but then I was
Most
thinking,
important.
did I ever see it and not know? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
It was interesting. But
So
yeah,
where did you get your Western herbal training?
I did the,
Oh, the Dave Winston.
well, I do a ton with Dave Winston, but not his, I haven't, when I started, he wasn't doing his certification.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did the American Herbalist Guild program, which was offered in the 90s. So I got that certification in the, like, I think it was 99 or something like that.
So
Just
did you know right out of vet school that you wanted to do integrative or holistic?
Well, yeah, because what happened was I had a lot of health issues growing up,
Mm.
and then it kind of led me down the path of holistic medicine for myself, and then got some good results with that. So then I ended up taking the acupuncture training in vet school. So that's where I met Rob because he was
Oh,
doing the IVIS course back then. We did it in Atlanta. He thinks it was 92. I think it was 93, but who knows?
no,
We go
puts
back
matter.
that far. I'm like, who cares what year it was? We're all arguing.
Yeah,
But,
I wish I'd have had the foresight and started it right
well,
out of school, but
yeah,
you
but
know,
there's pluses and minuses. You know, it's good to have that experience behind you going into when you learn acupuncture because otherwise, what happens is you can get kind of where you think cases would respond, but really they'd be better off with traditional medicine or
yeah.
conventional medicine. And so, and it is hard sometimes to organize like what to use when. I mean, actually, that's why I was asking you, if you were gonna, if you had a kidney case and say it was
Mhm.
ischemic or inflammatory, when do you break out the fluids or are they happening already?
Oh, yeah, and
Like,
we'll
so, I mean,
we'll
but just like combining things.
yeah, yeah, definitely checking serial, labs and then
Mhm.
specific gravities, if things are just not shifting at all, we'll do fluids pretty. I start recommend fluids really about stage 2 or late stage 2, maybe early stage 3. I don't
Mhm.
wait till they're in stage 4, but
Yeah.
it's all again, if the client can do it,
You do
want
the
to.
sub Qs at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I teach clients how to do that. And we
Okay.
don't hospitalize anything at these practices we're at now.
Oh, you don't.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And
There's
that's,
so many urgent cares around and specialists in
oh,
Dallas.
I bet. Yeah.
So it's just, we're kind of if a specialist recommends something, they come to us to see if we can expedite it for them, whether it's
Okay.
testing, follow-up, sub-Q fluids, things like that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, back to like, so yeah, so that was my thing is like if you're a good Western vet first and then you take the acupuncture training, I feel like that's a better way than the way I did it. Although what I ended up doing, I sort of went back into conventional medicine for a while. Like I
Mm.
did emergency work and then kind of an internship. Well, I worked at a big practice, 10 doctor practice out of Chicago. And
Oh,
that was really a good experience. I saw so much stuff. I never saw like out here, you're not going to see like your frost bites and your nose.
right,
What did I?
right.
Nasal worms. No, was it nasal? A cat with nasal mites.
Oh, wow.
Have you seen
I've
that?
never seen it. Mm-mm,
Like, what's
mm-mm.
that? I know it's like that acromegaly thing. I'm like, what? But anyway, saw all my kind of cases there that, and then I went back and started doing the acupuncture after that. So it was kind of a cool, but in a way, it would have been better just to do all Western, I think. But anyway, then years later, I ended up I did the chiropractic training before 2000 as well. I did the ABCA and I was certified with them for like 17 years. And then I just dropped my certification because
Oh, really?
the problem is you're on the referral list and then it's like, but like if you're only working part-time or you don't have a clinic or you're between jobs or you're taking time off or, then
Right.
people get mad at you. Like you can't just get
Yeah,
me in and do a 5 minute thing.
right.
And I never really
Yeah.
did
Will
that.
you pick it back up in California?
Yeah, but I don't think I'm going to pick up my certification again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, I'm 58. I'm kind of probably just gonna, I'll do it. Oh, I do tons of chiropractic,
Right.
but I don't think I'm
You
gonna
don't have to, in
back
California, you
into it.
don't have to have your certification to do it.
I doubt it. I don't know. But,
Uh,
I mean, honestly, there's so few. There's no there other than Annette, the one I'm gonna go talk to, there's no acupuncture vets in Carmel.
that's crazy.
It's so crazy. And then
Yeah.
not only that, but I went to a stable with 80 horses and they're like, acupuncture, does that work? I'm like, we are like 6 miles from Carmel. And I
That's
mean,
crazy.
it
'Cause
used to
I'm just
be,
thinking back in 2015. I know there was a pretty good group from California. It was at
and I
least a
think that
dozen.
it's just such a big state that
Yeah.
even if they're 2 hours south, it's kind of far. I mean,
Yeah. I think
and
that seemed like the majority. I'm remembering that they were around LA.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There was a lot down there. I actually trained, my chiropractic training was with Michael Gleason, and
Hmm.
he was in San Francisco, which
Hmm.
isn't too far away from where we'd
Right.
be. But he's not practice. I mean, that was in the 90s, once 30 years goes by,
Yeah.
a lot of people are kind of falling by the wayside.
Having a different life.
Yeah, it's
Not
okay. They're
working.
retiring.
Yeah.
So I would
Mhm.
probably do chiropractic, but I might not like advertise it, and the same
Yeah,
thing with
just
Nate.
be a bonus. Since
Yeah.
I'm here, I'll just adjust your horse.
Yeah. And I don't really, yeah. So I would do Western herbs and chiropractic and acupuncture, and then I would do Nate, and that would be kind of the approach that I would take. But there's so many approaches in holistic medicine, right? I
Oh, I
mean,
know.
it's
Will the other person you
overwhelming.
might be working with have different tools, or you're all
Yeah,
sort of
she
the
has
same?
different tools. She does. And I also have a PEMF unit now. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, so but she has like all kinds of lasers and stuff like
Hmm.
that. So it's like, okay,
Hmm.
cool. Well, and I just think it's neat that we have so many tools now. But when
Yeah,
I graduated, we didn't have those. It was kind of
right.
like our
It
hand.
definitely wasn't talked about in the Midwest.
No, your hands though have always been. See, I'm a really traditional person. Like I still think we've got all these tools and it's great to have them, but to use your hands and to know that you can make a difference with your hands and that you can feel pulses and that you can see the quality of the hydration and you can feel masses and you can it's just having those hands on that animal. I don't think there's any replacement for that. I kind of feel like people are getting away from that a little bit because there are so many of these new tools,
Right. All the tests and all the things.
and it's
Yeah.
like we
Did you
just
train
focus
with
on
any
what
of the ANT, the lymphatic, manipulation,
I haven't, or Patrice, I haven't done like the
yeah.
osteopathic.
Yeah, that's Dr.
No.
Watson helps teach at Patrice's sometimes. I think
Oh,
Patrice is getting ready to retire, isn't she?
I know Melissa Walker, one of my vet friends here in Seattle. She just came back, and Patrice was still teaching. But yeah,
Hmm.
I I think so. She must be getting into retirement phase, but I don't know if it's just going to continue in Eugene or what.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the guy that helps her.
Matt Fricky.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
he
so
and
I graduated with
Shelby, I
him.
think, are kind of talking about trying to carry it on as she
Yeah,
slows down or stops.
yeah, that would be great. Again, that's that hands-on
Yeah, but
osteopathic.
you haven't done any of that?
No, I haven't. And I guess a lot of my thing was I wanted to just kind of use what I knew and just
Right.
keep using what I knew because I felt like I was getting good results, but you can always get better results.
Yeah.
So,
No, I just didn't know if you had people asking about it. That sometimes directs your path if you get a lot of people wanting
no, I
something.
did get a lot of people asking about chiropractic, and
Sure.
I mean, I remember the cases where it was like, oh man, I wish I knew it back then. But
Yeah.
But no, I mean, my experience with clients is they don't care what you do as long as the dog gets. I mean, and I hate to say this, but sometimes it's not even, they don't even need to get the dog better. They just want to try. But that's maybe low level. The higher level, the people who are like really educated about all this stuff, they do want to try different options. And I think people do get enamored with the technology,
Yeah.
but I still think we can do a lot. We can do a lot more than we think we're capable with our hands. So one thing I did do near Dallas is I took the flowtrition training from Lance Wright. Do you know
Oh, I
him?
think I remember you talking about that. I was
Yeah,
gonna
well,
look
this
that
is
up.
close by
I
to you,
totally
but
forgot about it. It was the Flowtrition?
yeah, it was good. Like if you're thinking about the whole Patrice thing, it was a very similar type of, I mean, from what I understood, again, there's going to be nuances that I don't
And what
understand.
was the vet's name?
He's a chiropractor, human
Or chiropractor
chiropractor.
name?
Yeah,
Well,
Lance Wright.
and he's in Dallas?
Yeah, we flew into Dallas and it wasn't far. It was, I'm guessing, less than an hour. So I think it's right near you somewhere. I don't
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
Yeah. And really nice guy. Oh my gosh, really good guy.
How
And
long ago did you do that?
that might have been Jeff. Was that 5 years ago? Yeah, five, maybe 8 years ago. The years go
Time
by.
flies.
I know.
Time
He
flies.
was, it was good. It was simple. It was kind of simple. So he uses a lot of network. So he used to teach for the network chiropractic training for humans. And then he started doing animals and bringing the network ideals over into what he teaches. And it's a lot of, I don't know what you want to call them, reservoir areas, like areas where the body is like, where there's a divot in the energy flow. And there's actually a physical divot too. Like, okay,
Hmm.
where you're like looking at it going, oh yeah, that is, you can see it, that you can see that it's an area that there's weakness. And he
Mhm.
just talks about, well, just strengthen the weakness. So it's kind of, and like bringing to reuniting, I guess, the energy into two different areas, which is kind of a cool. So like
Right.
bringing the energy through your hands and how to do that and stuff like that. It was good. It was relatively simplistic, but I liked it a lot. And I thought, and I think he's a really authentic healer too. So
Yeah, it's just it really it's a really it's a game changing experience to be around people that are in
yeah, I
in
know.
that
I get
healing phase. I know Dr.
well,
Watson was that for me, and
yeah.
Dr. Small was very talented. So it's kind of like,
Well, and so I do think we need to like own what we know and also believe in what we do because I think we all have it. It's like we all have those abilities, but it's kind of like certain mentors can wake that up in us. It's
right.
already there, but it's like, how can we access it in our own selves? I
Yeah,
don't know how to
without feeling
say it.
like an imposter. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we all have that imposter syndrome. I read about that. I'm like, oh, this is everybody I know, including
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know. I just feel I do think like the clients have more faith in us than sometimes we have in ourselves, especially with really bad cases. At least that's what I've seen.
Yeah, I had a case similar to that same thought process not too long ago as a golden doodle, of course, with really bad ears his whole life. And I think he's 6 or 7 right now. And he's been coming to me for about, oh, I think last spring, so not quite a year. And was just still, we're hit a wall every now and then. And she's like, and I was kind of like down about it, like, oh, I'm so sorry, we should be way
Yeah.
better. And she's like, he's 90% better than he was when I first met you. I was like,
Right.
oh,
Reality check. You're like, wait, I know, but I want to get him
because
cured.
I
And
wanted
she's
to be
just
able to
like,
check that box resolved.
cured.
And 10% of an issue that he used to have. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
amazing.
you can get to those, but you don't think about it when
What's
you're
your
in it.
favorite way to approach those ear cases? I know we have about five, however many minutes you have, but we have about 5 minutes.
Oh gosh, definitely blending of the traditional and holistic.
Okay.
Depends on how severe they are when I get them. Like if they're just full of mucus and swelling and everything, I've got to get something to knock that out. And
Yeah.
I'll add herbs, but sometimes I have to reach for a really low dose steroid, and that's kind of like, oh, the bad word in the holistic
Do you
world.
try to keep it topical steroids or do you use
It'll just
internal?
depend. I have some pets that won't even allow you to touch their ears, and they're so bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we may have to just do a short course of less than 10 days just to open things up. And
See, I'd
then,
rather have a holistic vet at the helm of deciding about steroids because at least you have respect for them and you
yeah,
want
we're going
to
to be, I
teach
think, a
them.
lot more cautious, and
Right.
selective.
That's why I'm
You
like,
know,
oh, that's not so bad. I wouldn't,
yeah.
then the dog's going to get relief right away.
Yeah, I think back in the day, get that shot of Combiotic, the antibiotic steroid
Oh,
combo for
yeah.
cattle. And then
Do
they
they
started doing
use
it in
that anymore?
dogs
Okay. I don't know.
way back in the day. But yeah, so it just depends definitely on the whole starting at the bottom, the gut and the immune system and the diet and the herbs. But we have to go right just straight to a culture because they've come to me they've done 4 rounds of antibiotics and all the things, and they're still not getting better. So let's figure out what it is. If
When
it's
you culture
Pseudomonas,
those ears, because I have,
Pseudomonas is really hard.
oh, do they get a lot of
Yeah,
pseudomonases?
that golden doodle, the Pseudomonas and the biofilm that's in there, and it just won't allow anything good, whether it's herbs or traditional antibiotics, anything like that penetrate.
So what do you do? Because I've not
Uh,
really had
yeah,
one
so
like
it's a combination of some traditional mixes and some little recipes with different antibiotics, and then the herbs and
yeah, but and
just
like kind of, can you give
infusion.
us specifics or just out of curiosity?
Like for this particular case, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was about I think that Pseudomonas was about the only thing. There might have been some, I think, one of staph in there, but it was, by the time I saw him, it was just Pseudomonas. So we did a sedated flush, made sure everything was intact, and then it was an amikacin and a little Dex recipe from a
And
specialist.
topically?
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll use it like a Trizity flush and wait half an hour or whatever, and then put in the antibiotics. And they
Mm,
tried to stop it, then he gets a flare. And so it's about
mm.
once or twice a week they have to, it's just,
Wow.
so
So
it's,
so then once you have that infection, I guess more or less under control, if it does get it, I don't know how under control it gets, then what herbs are you throwing, kind of doing at the same time to build these, I mean, or
yeah. I
change?
mean, Dr. Shea has his classic ear damp heat. And then Dr. Marsden likes anything that's pulling the dampness, like the sea mouse on is one of his classic ones for the heat. And I think I grabbed, oh, I can't
Do
remember.
you ever use
There's a
like the
few of them.
Coptis, what's it called? Coptis Clear Heat or something? I think it's
I
one of
haven't.
Shay's.
I
Okay.
definitely am familiar with it. We just don't happen to have it
Oh, Purge
available.
Fire, Coptis Purge Fire, something like that. Okay.
Yeah. Did
Okay.
you like that with the ears?
I only have one case where it responded to that, but this is
Yeah.
so many years ago. I'm not even sure, but I muscle tested it, but
Oh, yeah. No, I'm always gonna look and not just try not to stay in my box, try to try other herbal
ears will
blends.
mess you up. So yeah,
Yeah.
they're really, really can be hard.
Yeah, it's just hard. And they're painful. A lot of people think when their dog's shaking their head, that's no big deal. I like try to tell people if they're shaking their head a lot, that's painful. That's a sign
Yeah.
of pain. So I have so many people like, well, I don't think they're in pain.
Well,
Like,
it's like,
well,
no,
that's
he's not
painful.
screaming constantly, but
Yeah, it's
and
not like humans,
yeah, they think they're human. Human. Actually, that would be a good thing to talk about. Maybe on a different one is just like all the ways that animals show us pain, because that could be a whole hour right there, you know?
Exactly. Especially, we see so many of these agility pets and competitive dogs, and when you're talking to a client, she goes, "Well, he doesn't seem painful, and he's three-legged lame." I'm like,
Ah,
well, that's he's not
yeah,
crying. I'm like, well, that's a sign of pain. He's not using
yeah.
all four
I'm
limbs in the
glad you,
normal
yeah,
fashion.
I'm glad you point that out. That's really important. So,
Which is like horses. Yeah, he may not be, you know,
yeah, just because they're
crying
not
or elevated
vocalized.
heart rate or not eat, they might still be eating, but yet if they're not using that limb properly, then.
Yeah, no, that's really important. That's
Do you
great.
do a lot of saddle fitting? Do you do any of that?
I I I haven't.
Mhm.
I would. I don't think I'm like I always consider myself like an amateur at that. I don't have like a it's just basically like eyes. But boy, saddle fitting is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, I
All those
remember I was
back
doing a lot of
problems.
those judging. There was a confirmation judge, horsemanship judge, and she was trained in that. It was just so
I
unique.
know the ones that are really good. I'll see if there's any saddle fit people there. I would like them there to be. And I'm not sure how many horses I'm gonna do there because I do
Mhm.
so much with the small animals, but it kind of depends on how busy I become in different realms. And it's like starting new, so you just don't know.
Yeah, gosh. And it was mostly just the weather that kind of made you think about moving?
Weather, and then I wanted to get back to the ocean and be able to snorkel and be able to maybe do some volunteer work. They have to do so many good volunteer projects out of the aquarium there for the
Oh,
local
wow.
wildlife,
Right.
sea or otters and seahorses and lots of things.
I
So
love otters.
yeah,
Oh
I
my God.
know. So if I get to doing that, I'll let you know because then
Yeah,
I'd love to have
I'll be
vets call me.
retiring and being your otter babysitter.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna hold them all.
I know, they're so cute.
Oh, my husband's addicted to them, and so I always send each other videos on otter. Look at this otter sliding in the snow. Look at
Yeah.
this one.
They're funny animals and they're just making such a huge comeback, but a lot of
Yeah,
it's because people have decided that they're important, and
yeah.
so it wouldn't be bad to get involved with other wild. So I'm kind of thinking a lot of things like that, which we don't have those options here as much. Yeah,
Oh, it's exciting.
yeah, we'll
Is your
see.
husband excited to move?
Well, so we moved to Italy. That was another story.
Ah, how long did you live in Italy?
like 2 months, but we did all
What?
the stuff like that we
Oh,
were
I
going to
see.
be there for like a year, but it ended up being, this is so funny. I realized I was severely gluten intolerant there. And it's like, who does this? Who goes to Italy and then finds out they're gluten? So, so the
What part
food,
of Italy?
we were about an hour north of Rome.
Were you in Verona?
No, we were
No,
in
that's farther north.
Vecchia. Is it?
Okay. My husband used to live in the Abruzzo up north and by the mountains where the Olympics are right now.
Oh,
So a little bit
okay, that's
north.
pretty far north. Yeah.
Yeah. That
I think
work in Verona. So, and then a friend in
cool.
Rome. But,
Yeah,
oh,
well, the so up in north, we were like, oh wow, if we were based up north. So I was going to school there for marine biology. That's what we moved there for. Then it was like, okay, I don't think this is going to work out. And also we chose the wrong year. It was the Jubilee year, so all the
oh, okay.
rents went like 5 times the normal amount. So we were like, do we really want to pay so it was going to be really expensive on top of
Right.
not being able to eat on top of so yeah so I would say that, so getting back to the original, I would say Jeff is like more cautious about whether we're actually going to do this and stay.
Stay there long
So
term.
yeah, but oh, what's that cat's name?
Oh, that is Garfunkel, commonly known Funky.
Funky.
Yes, his brother Simon is very shy, but
Brother
Funky
Simon.
Funky is very, what are you doing?
Funky. Okay, he's cute. Is it a clinic cat?
No, no, I'm at home.
You are, that's your
Yeah,
home? Look
yeah,
at all
yeah.
those books.
I know. That's an addiction. We
I
could talk
love
for days
that.
on
Look
that.
at them. Okay, that's
Yeah.
impressive. We could do a whole podcast on your books. We could just go through your bookshelf.
Because you can't even see the ones over here.
I'm so
Yeah.
impressed.
It's been a, yeah, some people collect, I don't know, salt and pepper shakers. Mine's more the books, or
I
some
love
people like to go out to
that.
eat. I get a book.
I like
Some people have
it.
kids. I get books.
Yeah, I love books. And I'd
Oh,
love to see what books people have. That's my
yeah.
interest.
I do a lot of historical.
I might have to ask you like about books I should get on tape.
Yeah, because you'll be, are you driving? Yeah, we
No,
have
but just
obviously.
we'll be in Indonesia. I think that I can read a book in Indonesia, but so I might just ask you about
Do
another
you do
time.
Kindle? Are you a Kindle
I think
person or
I can do
more like
Kindle. Yeah.
physical book?
No, I think Kindle's good. Yeah, because you can get so many books in one
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So,
No, my sister-in-law is that too. I kind of just steer towards the, travel as much anymore, so it's easy to have the book versus when you travel, it's obviously easier to have a Kindle.
do you miss traveling or do you,
A little bit,
mhm,
a little
but
bit.
not too much?
Yeah, I miss going just like, well, when I was judging horse events,
Mm-hmm.
it was a lot of travel, flying and stuff. So that
Hmm.
was fun. Yeah.
Hmm.
My husband's French, so we try to go back to see his family. It used about every other year. We used to try to do it more often, but it's panning out about every other
Okay,
year.
so that's no, that's traveling.
It's a little bit of traveling.
Yeah.
And then we have the friends in Italy, so we try to combine it in 2 weeks, do his family and then see them and my other friends in
Mhm.
Italy. So
That's wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah, I have clients that expatted to PAL. If you know PAL, it's like,
Oh,
am I not saying it right? But
you. Yeah.
up in the Pyrenees or at the base of the Pyrenees. Yeah, they like it. I need to probably follow up, but yeah,
Yeah.
good. Well, you know what? Thank you so much, Dr. Shannon. I don't want to take all your time, but
Oh no, fine. I hope I
you
didn't ramble too much.
no, you were perfect. And we can do this again. And if there's any topics you ever want, you're like, oh, we should really talk about this. The more the better, because otherwise our stories don't always get told, and I think it's really important that they do. So,
Yeah,
um,
at least people are aware there's other trains of thought out there.
yeah, yeah, no, that's great. I mean, because yeah, a lot of people are unaware that there's other ways to look at healing for pets. So
Yep.
good. Well, thank you so much, and we'll do it again. And if people have comments and suggestions about other show ideas, we can actually act on those. So
Yeah, no, well, good luck with your adventure.
thank you. Yeah, and we'll see. We might not do it. Like I'm gonna meet with them this week and probably make a decision within a week or two. So
Yeah. Well,
I'll let you
even if
know.
you started out just doing it in the winter, in the dreary months,
Well, I know that's another way to do it, right? Just make it seasonal.
hmm,
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually. We might do that.
you dip your toe.
Yeah, that's a good idea. All right. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate everything. Thank you so much, Shannon. And you know what? It
Yeah.
was really, really good, really helpful. And I'll try and send you like the little transcript and see if there's anything that you'd be like, I don't,
Okay, if I made some mistakes,
or
I'll
just how
send you
about like,
correction.
we didn't say that. It's in
My
Taiwan.
if I got my herbs wrong, I'm like, oh no, I meant to
Those are switched.
wait.
It doesn't go to the public. It's just between us on that one. And then I make a description based on it though. So
Oh, nice.
yeah.
How long have you been doing these videos
Oh,
or podcasts?
this session has probably been like a month,
Huh.
and
You
then
seem like you've been doing it a long time.
oh, I have done vet interviews like longer than that. And then, um, yeah, and I love talking to people. So, like that's why you were like, oh, I don't know if we could fill a whole hour. I'm like, dude, like we could fill week. I mean,
Yeah, my knowledge base is.
no, 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 it's, I love finding out what people know. And yeah, I mean, we all know much more than I mean, it's all in there. It's just getting it, finding it, accessing
Yeah,
it. So
making it sound right when it comes out.
yeah, I know exactly. I don't know if I ever do that, but
Yeah.
I try to be light about it, because I know it doesn't always sound perfect. And I think my English is really sometimes so bad. I'm like, do I even
I
know how to
searching for
speak
words.
English?
I know, and my husband is, speaks 3 languages, and he's like, "Why can't you just learn one? I'm trying to master English.
It's too confusing.
It is so
Yeah,
hard."
I know it is. All right, well, we'll be in touch. Thank you so much. I really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah, appreciate it. Good luck with everything.
Okay, thanks so much, hon.
All right, bye.